The envelope was black, thick parchment. No address, just my name in elegant, spidery script. I felt a chill as I touched it, a tremor of premonition. Inside, a single card, the same elegant script. "Come, the house awaits." It was an invitation, a summons, a threat. I had to go. The address, scrawled on the back, led me to a forgotten corner of the city. Rain lashed down, blurring the streetlights into hazy orbs. Each step towards the address filled me with dread, yet I couldn't turn back. The invitation, the whispers in my mind held me captive. The taxi dropped me off at the end of a deserted street. The house stood alone, shrouded in mist and shadows, a Gothic mansion out of a nightmare, cracked stone, twisted wrought iron gates, overgrown ivy clawing at the walls. It felt alive, malevolent. The air grew colder as I approached, the wind whispering through the trees, sounding like mournful cries. I stood at the foot of the steps, the invitation clutched in my hand, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The massive oak door creaked open as if beckoning me inside. The entry hall was cavernous, shrouded in darkness. Dust motes danced in the slivers of moonlight that pierced through the grime-covered windows. The air was thick with the scent of decay and something else, something ancient and unsettling. A low whisper slithered through the silence, barely audible, yet it sent shivers down my spine. It seemed to come from the walls themselves, from the very foundation of the house. I took a tentative step inside, and the whispers grew louder, circling me, urging me deeper into the darkness. The whispers led me through a labyrinth of hallways, each one colder and darker than the last. The air grew thick with an unsettling chill, and the shadows seemed to dance with a life of their own. Every step I took echoed through the empty corridors, amplifying the eerie silence that surrounded me. Portraits of long-forgotten faces lined the walls, their eyes seeming to follow my every move. These were not just paintings. They felt like windows into another time, another world. The eyes in the portraits were haunting, almost as if they were trying to communicate some ancient secret or warning. In the flickering candlelight, I thought I saw one of the figures move, a fleeting glimpse of a pale hand reaching out from the darkness. My heart raced as I strained to see more clearly, but the shadows swallowed the figure once again, leaving me questioning my own senses. Fear coiled in my gut, cold and tight. It was a primal fear, one that gripped me and refused to let go. My mind raced with thoughts of what could be lurking in the darkness, unseen but ever present. The whispers continued, weaving their way into my thoughts, becoming more insistent. They were not just sounds. They felt like voices from another realm, urging me to uncover the secrets hidden within these walls. Each whisper seemed to carry a piece of a larger puzzle, one that I was compelled to solve. I had to find the source, the reason for my summons to this haunted place. There was a purpose to my presence here, a mystery that demanded to be unraveled. The whispers, the portraits, the fleeting shadows, they were all part of a larger narrative that I needed to understand. I pushed on, deeper into the heart of the mansion. Each step took me further into the unknown, but also closer to the truth. The mansion seemed to pulse with a life of its own, guiding me towards the answers I sought. I knew that whatever awaited me at the end of this journey would change everything. The whispers led me to a room at the end of a long, winding corridor. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the faint, almost imperceptible murmurs that seemed to come from the walls themselves. Each step I took echoed softly, amplifying the eerie atmosphere that surrounded me. The door was slightly ajar, and a pale, ethereal light spilled out into the hallway. It cast long, ghostly shadows that danced on the walls, creating an almost hypnotic effect. The light seemed to beckon me, urging me to uncover the secrets that lay beyond. As I approached, the whispers intensified, becoming almost deafening in their urgency. They seemed to be speaking in a language I couldn't understand, yet their tone conveyed a sense of desperation and warning. My heart pounded in my chest, a mix of fear and curiosity driving me forward. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The hinges creaked loudly, as if protesting my intrusion. The room was dimly lit, the source of the pale light now more apparent, casting an otherworldly glow over everything it touched. The room was circular, with high-vaulted ceilings and walls lined with bookshelves. Each shelf was filled to the brim with ancient books, their spines cracked and worn from centuries of use. The air was thick with the scent of old paper and dust, a testament to the room's age and the knowledge it held. Strange objects were scattered around the room, ancient tomes bound in leather and silver, their pages filled with cryptic symbols and forgotten languages. Each book seemed to hum with a life of its own, as if eager to share its secrets with anyone brave enough to read them. Crystal balls that pulsed with an inner light, casting a soft, mesmerizing glow that seemed to draw me in. They were scattered across tables and shelves, each one unique in its design and the light it emitted, and bizarre, unidentifiable artifacts that seemed to hum with power. These objects defied explanation, their shapes and materials unlike anything I had ever seen before. They seemed to vibrate with an energy that was both alluring and terrifying. But it was the object in the center of the room that drew my attention. It was unlike anything else in the room, standing on a pedestal bathed in light. Its presence was commanding, almost as if it were the source of the whispers that had led me here. I felt an overwhelming urge to approach it, to uncover its mysteries and understand its significance. The haunted mirror. It was a mirror, tall and ornate, with a silver frame twisted into the shapes of writhing figures. As I approached, I realized it wasn't a reflection staring back at me. It was a face, pale and gaunt, with eyes that burned with an unnatural light. The face in the mirror spoke, its voice a hollow rasp that echoed the whispers in my mind. It spoke of my past, my fears, my deepest desires. It promised me power, knowledge, and an escape from the mundane. And for a moment, I was tempted. Trapped. But then the whispers changed, becoming harsh and menacing. The face in the mirror twisted in anger, its eyes burning brighter. I realized then that I had been lured here, trapped in this house of shadows. The whispers weren't guiding me, they were holding me captive. The door slammed shut, the sound echoing through the room. Panic welled up inside me as I turned to find the exit, blocked by an impenetrable darkness. I was trapped, alone with the whispers and the entity in the mirror. The whispers grew louder. The whispers grew louder, swirling around me, suffocating me. They were like a relentless storm, a cacophony of voices that seemed to come from every corner of the room. Each whisper carried a different tone, a different emotion, but all were filled with a sense of dread and urgency. They whispered of forgotten horrors, of unspeakable acts committed within the walls of the house, tales of anguish and despair, of lives torn apart by the malevolent forces that resided here. The walls seemed to pulse with the memories of those who had suffered, their pain etched into the very fabric of the house. I pressed my hands against my ears, trying to block out the sound, but it was no use. The whispers penetrated my defenses, seeping into my mind like a poison. I could feel them crawling under my skin, burrowing deep into my thoughts, making it impossible to think clearly. The whispers were inside my head now, a chorus of voices vying for my sanity. They spoke of my deepest fears, my darkest secrets, things I had long buried and forgotten. Each word was a dagger, cutting through my resolve, leaving me vulnerable and exposed. The face in the mirror laughed, a chilling sound that seemed to splinter the air. It was a twisted reflection of myself, a version of me consumed by the darkness. The laughter echoed in the room, a haunting melody that seemed to mock my every attempt to escape. It told me I couldn't escape, that the house and I were now one. The bond was unbreakable, forged in the depths of despair and fear. I was trapped, a prisoner of the house and its malevolent spirits, bound to its dark history. It spoke of a destiny far greater than I could imagine, a destiny intertwined with the darkness that permeated the very foundation of the house. The whispers promised power, but at a cost. They offered knowledge, but with it came madness. I was at a crossroads, my fate hanging in the balance as the whispers grew louder, enveloping me in their sinister embrace. No escape. I stumbled back, my mind reeling, desperately searching for a way out. But the room offered no escape, no refuge from the growing madness. The whispers intensified, becoming a roar in my mind, and I knew then that resistance was futile. I was theirs now, a prisoner of the whispers, a plaything for the entity that resided within the haunted mirror. The house had claimed me, and there was no escape from its grasp. The whispers were all I had left, a symphony of horror that would haunt me for the rest of my existence.